Everybody's David Hood with TigerNet.com from Orlando, Florida, in the Rosen Plaza, the Media Hotel, for the Cheez-It Bowl, which is going to be held this Wednesday. Clemson takes on Iowa State. So today was really the first day that we had any kind of interviews. It was rather truncated, abbreviated, whatever you want to call it. Clemson brought in Mike Reed, the special teams coordinator. He's been named to that post. Brandon Streeter, the offensive coordinator, and quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. Defensively, they brought in co-defensive coordinators Wes Goodwin and Mickey Kahn, and, of course, linebacker James Skalski. So, what's the word going on down here? Look, so far it's been a little bit different. Not the college football playoff. We were just actually talking about, everything's a little bit different for everybody, but the teams are actually out at Topgolf tonight. The media is going to go out to Topgolf tomorrow night. The teams are out to Universal Studios. They've had fun riding the rides. Heard that one of the Clemson players passed out on a roller coaster. He's fine. It was just a little too much for him. So it's been a little bit different, but it's good to get back into kind of a regular bowl rotation after last year. And the COVID issues, I really thought we were going to be past that, but now you see teams are beginning to drop out like flies. Miami, their new athletic director, Dan Radakovich, has said they're not going to go play in a bowl game. Boston College, got to feel bad for those kids because now they've been bowl eligible 4 straight years. But they will have only played in one bowl game. COVID issues last year, COVID issues this year. 4 years ago when we were out in Dallas, it was a lot of bad weather that week. They went out onto the field there at the Cotton Bowl, and I think they started to play, and then the rain came, and that kind of ended their trip. So Virginia, new head coach Tony Ellett, Virginia's not going to play in their bowl game. A lot of bowl games being canceled. Now Miami out. But for Clemson, hearing that all is well so far, that they tested everybody before they left. Everybody was fine. Here in Ohio State's fine. So it looks like as of right now, this game is going to be on unless some just kind of weird outbreak happens or something like that. So the mood down here, again, just kind of thankful. Everybody's really glad to kind of get back out into a bowl situation, to kind of have it at least a little bit normal. In fact, I was talking to somebody that's with the team a little bit ago, and I said, I just really hope that it's the real normal, that, we don't have teams falling out. We don't have all of these COVID issues. That's one thing we can all hope for, no matter how you feel about it, whether you feel like it's real, fake, not necessary, whatever. Just you have to hope that it's more normal. But for Clemson, it's been, the word has been excited. Everybody seems to be really excited to go down and play in Camping World Stadium. Everybody's ready to take on a little bit different opponent. It was a little shocking for us who have been in the college football playoff, and Clemson with a fairly large media contingent to get down to interviews this morning. And Iowa State had 3 media people there. Some guy from The Athletic, a guy from the Des Moines Register, and some guy from a website called Cyclone Fanatics. So just 3 people here so far covering the Iowa State Cyclones. Clemson, we had 10 or 11 people. That's a little bit smaller group. We're used to fighting with 100 other people for interview time, so that was nice. So the energy is really good. I don't know. I think Joseph Ngata, David Williams, don't know which wide receivers. I think EJ is going to be ready to go. Joseph Ngata has been looking really good. But we're going to get the head coaches fairly soon. I think that's going to be Tuesday. Hopefully Dabo will have some type of word for us. But we're actually going out to an amusement park with the team tomorrow. We're going to get selected players and maybe a coach or two so hopefully we'll find out a little bit more. Cody says, how do you feel our O-line handles the odd defense? Yeah, that odd defense, I wrote a story about it earlier. So defensive coordinator John Haycock, not Heacock, but Haycock for Iowa State, hosted Clemson 4 or 5 years ago. Brent Venables, they all went out there. He runs kind of an odd defense. You can call it a 3-3-5. You can call it a 3-3-5 stack. You can call it a 3-5-3. You're used to seeing, for a lot of people that maybe don't follow the X's and O's of football, maybe you're used to seeing 4 down defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and then 4 people in the secondary, maybe 2 corners and 2 safeties. Well, what he runs is 3 down linemen, and then he might run 3 linebackers and then 5 defensive backs, but one of those guys is kind of a robber who can be a linebacker. He can actually slip up and play on the line. That's what Isaiah Simmons did a few years ago for Clemson. Remember, Brent Venables went into a 3-5 look quite a bit, ran Isaiah Simmons as a robber. So Clemson's seen it. Maybe not so much this year that they've seen it, but handling it is going to be an issue because the quarterback and the offensive lineman have to make pretty quick decisions. A lot of times there'll be a linebacker out on the edge, and you think maybe he's in coverage, but then he comes up in run defense. So they have got to do a great job of kind of recognizing things post snap, making good decisions. Maybe that hasn't been a something that's been really good for the Clemson offense this year. So it's definitely going to be a struggle and a challenge. And then to me, it all kind of comes down to who's going to start on the offensive line. They had a lot of success with Mason Trotter at center, and Will Putnam at right guard, moving some guys around. Marcus Tate out at left guard. They moved some people in there. But, when we were practicing the other day, Hunter Rayburn back at center, Trotter was at second team right guard. We'll just have to, see how they do. So, Joshua Brock, do the players respond to us like they did with Coach V? So Wes, it's interesting. James Golsky went to bat for Wes today. Said he's a guy that's just always kind of been there. He's always been out there chopping wood, kind of waiting for his opportunity. I've heard, they didn't want to say a whole lot about it, but I heard that the team was in, the team room when Wes was announced as the defensive coordinator, and I heard it went wild. He is a guy that you're gonna learn. Wes has a great sense of humor. He also has kind of like a Rain Man type of mind. And, all of the players seem to really like him. They've responded to him. It's just different. You can't expect him to to be Brent Venables. He's not got that legendary intensity. He doesn't look like he's going to kill you every half a second. He's just going to be Wes. And, that's one of the things that I'm probably most excited about with this bowl game is not only seeing how Brandon Streeter does with the offense. Is it a little less predictable? Is it, a little more, maybe not RPO heavy, more design plays, but defensively, how is Wes going to call it? Brent Venables very aggressive, as I told Dallas Sweeney the other day. Brent Venables never met a gut X blitz that he didn't like, especially on 3rd and 16. And that's kind of the cool thing about a 3-3-5 defense is, as we've seen Clemson run it in past years, you can kind of bring pressure from about everywhere and still run a cover 2 on the back end. And that's one thing Brent's done really well, which forces the quarterback to throw it late and makes him throw it to the middle of the field. I want to see what Wes does. Is Wes going to use that 4-down look? Is he going to use the 3-down look? Is he going to run a lot of nickel? Is he going to run a lot of dime? I can't wait to see what happens in that fall game. Who's won the backup job? Well, to me, right now it looks like Hunter Helms is guy number 2. Billy Wiles is guy number 3 at quarterback. I think Hunter Helms is kind of won that job. He's going to get a scholarship in January. I think Billy Wiles is going to get a scholarship in January. And then, of course, Gabe Klubnik's going to be in here, and it's going to be the Wild Wild West in spring practice because I can't imagine that anybody really has a big job that's theirs. I think that, everybody's going to have that job is up for grabs. Will they take people in the transfer portal? Going to get the Virginia center here, and he's going to the Big Ten. I think Dabo and company are looking at the transfer portal. There have been some names that we've heard, tried to confirm, but, with the scholarship numbers, and I've written this several times, they're going to have to. They're going to have to take somebody at some point. I don't know who that's going to be. Dabo's ever going to make a big deal out of it when he finally lands somebody from transfer portal, and he is absolutely right. It's going to be wild. We'll just have to see who it is. Don't think it's going to be the center from Virginia, though. So another thing that's a little bit different for us. In the media, not only the number of media that are here, but the fact that the press box apparently has plenty of space. There's no national media really expected to be on hand for this game. Again, just kind of different. But James Golsky said it best today. Like for me, I'm thankful to be here. I'm glad to have another ball game to cover. Glad to be a part of everything that's going on. James Golsky said, "Hey, I'm just happy to be to have another chance to play with my brothers. Happy to get out there and play one more time." And then he's excited to play for Wes Goodwin and see what happens. And if anybody has any other questions, feel free to type them in there. They've kind of been going in a little bit fast. I know I tried to cover a bunch. Clemson band's supposed to be here, I think, tomorrow. Like I said, we go out to the amusement park, and then we get to go to practice. We're going to be able to observe maybe 5 or 6 periods, which means stretching. Maybe the first part of special teams. and we're going to be able to grab some photos, and then we'll be able to have some interviews after. So a little bit more like a normal practice. Do I feel good about, are all the running backs healthy? I think Phil Moffitt still looks a little limited, but healthier than he's been in months. I love the new coordinators, and like I said, just we don't know what's going to happen. I think that Dabo made the hires he thinks is right. I know Wes can do the job on an X's and O's standpoint, play calling. I think he can. And then for Wes, it's going to be, can he do the recruiting part of it? Can he be that guy that can go out on a recruiting trail like Brent Venables and change kids' minds or bring kids in? That's all to be seen. And then with Brandon Streeter, he's already talked about, and I've heard some things that, they want to change up. And for me, I'd love to see more middle of the field type stuff. I'd love to see less wide receiver screens that are part of the running game and more down the field, seam type passing, get the tight end involved more in the offense. And I hope Brandon can do that. Troy Stellato here, and he's doing fairly well. That's another kid I'd love to be able to see get some snaps. I was really wanting to see him against South Carolina, and then he gets hurt out there in pregame warm-ups. Just somebody that's had trouble staying healthy. It's been warm down here for everybody that wants to know. We actually walked down International Boulevard for anybody that's been here today. We had lunch, spent some time outside. I rode a scooter around, which made everybody laugh. Hey, fat man on a tiny scooter, but it was still fun. So it's just been kind of and no, the splint is not off of DJ's finger. I thought that it was, but he showed up at the press conference today. Splint's still on there. Still expecting to wear the knee brace. Jason Rayfield says, have we cleared the COVID testing hurdles? I think, there's always the possibility for surprises. But again, talked to somebody over in that camp a little while ago, and so far, so good for everybody. That doesn't mean that, 10 players can't come down with symptoms tomorrow, and, that changed things. But, right now, so far, cross your fingers, so far, so good. Enough healthy receivers? Yeah, I think they've got enough healthy, but against this John Haycock defense, to me, the key again is going to be running the football. This is going to be a Will Shipley film off a Kobe Pace type game. DJ is going to have to run it a little bit. That defense is designed to not give up big plays. John Haycock did it to try and combat those big explosive offenses in the Big 12, and he's done a great job of that. Don't expect a lot of big plays over the top to the wide receivers. This is going to be a running football game. Clemson's going to have to lean on the offensive line. Yeah, Tiger Band leaving out tonight, 10:45, drive through the night. I expect that there is probably a freshman trumpet player by the name of Caleb Standards that is getting ready to board the bus, and his mother will be worried, right, Allison? And then I think we're getting ready to hit our 15-minute mark, which is kind of what we had set for this. If you like it, hey, we can do another one tomorrow, especially after we see practice, after we're with the team at the amusement park tomorrow, after we go to practice, after we do interviews. We will have a lot more information tomorrow night. Maybe we can go a little bit longer than 15 minutes. If you want me to not do it on my phone, please feel free to send me Venmo or GoFundMe so I can buy a new laptop, because my laptop camera is absolutely terrible. I would love to have one. I'm trying to talk Crump into buy me one, but he says I have to do good work at the bowl game to get one. So feel free to Venmo me the cash, and I'll go to Best Buy or somewhere tomorrow and get a new laptop. But 15 minutes tonight. It was great. Enjoyed taking the questions. Like I said, let's go longer tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll have some more information for you.